For the last decade, you have been worshipping a false idol. You see it everywhere. It is in the overpriced smoothies of influencers. It is massaged with oil in trendy salads. It lines the shelves of high-end grocery stores sold at a premium to people who believe they are buying health. They call it King Kale. But in the eyes of science, this king is a fraud. If you strip away the marketing budget and look at the raw data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), the truth is embarrassing. In a comprehensive study ranking Powerhouse Fruits and Vegetables based on nutrient density, kale scored a mediocre 49 out of 100. It didn't even pass the halfway mark. Even common spinach humiliated it with a score of 86. But there is one plant that stands alone at the top of the mountain. One plant that achieved a perfect score of 100 out of 100. It is the most nutrient-dense vegetable on the face of the earth. It contains more iron than spinach, more calcium than milk, and more vitamin C than oranges. Yet you don't see it on billboards. You don't see it in superfood powders. In fact, you probably walk past it every day thinking it is nothing more than a garnish or a weed. It is watercress. But before you rush out to buy it a warning, you are likely going to waste your money. 90% of people who eat watercress commit a fatal culinary error that destroys its most potent anti-cancer medicine before it ever reaches their stomach. We will unlock that biological secret in a moment. But first we must answer the obvious question. If this plant is the true king, why is it hiding in the ditch? The answer lies in the cold calculus of capitalism. The modern supermarket is not a garden. It is a warehouse for the dead. The global food system is designed for one metrics above all others: shelf life. It prioritizes crops that can be harvested by massive machines packed into plastic coffins, shipped 3,000 miles in a dark truck, and sit under harsh fluorescent lights for 2 weeks without losing their color. Kale survives this brutality because kale is tough. It is leathery. It submits to the supply chain. Apples are coated in wax to fake their freshness. Potatoes are sprayed with chemicals to stop them from sprouting. They are the obedient soldiers of the industrial food complex. Watercress is a rebel. It is an aquatic plant born of running water. It demands hydration. It demands life. The moment you pull it from the stream, the clock starts ticking. Within 24 hours of being separated from its source, it begins to wilt. It refuses to look perfect for the consumer who shops once a week. It refuses to be commodified. To a grocery store manager, watercress is a nightmare. It is shrinkage. It is lost profit. To sell it, they would need expensive misting systems and rapid transport. It is a logistical headache. So they made a business decision. They erased it. They replaced the most nutritious plant on earth with inferior crops, simply because those crops fit better in a cardboard box. They chose their shelf life over your human life. This reveals a disturbing truth about our food culture. We have traded vitality for convenience. The reason you eat kale and spinach is not because they are the best for your biology. You eat them because they are the easiest for the logistical map. The king of vegetables was not dethroned by a better competitor. It was exiled because it was too wild to be tamed by the barcode. But to understand the magnitude of this loss, we must look back to a time before the barcode. We must travel to the island of Kos in ancient Greece around 400 BC. Hippocrates, the man history remembers as the father of medicine, was laying the foundations for the first hospital in the Western world. When choosing the location for this sanctuary of healing, he did not look for high ground or defensive walls. He looked for a specific type of water. He built his hospital directly beside a fast-flowing stream. This was not an aesthetic choice. It was a medical prescription. That stream was choked with wild watercress. Hippocrates knew something that modern doctors have forgotten. He referred to this plant as the cure of cures. He did not treat it as a side dish. He treated it as a blood cleanser. He demanded his patients consume it to purify their lungs and restore their vitality. This knowledge was passed down through the veins of history. The Persian armies would not march without it. The Romans believed it cured insanity. Centuries later, Napoleon Bonaparte, a man obsessed with the efficiency of war, was known to halt his armies at riverbanks. He wasn't stopping for the view. He was stopping to harvest the green gold to prevent scurvy and fuel his soldiers. They did not have the CDC rankings. They did not have microscopes to see the cellular structure, but they had intuition. They respected the plant because they could feel its power. They recognized that the sharp, peppery burn on their tongue was not just flavor. It was a signal. It was the plant communicating its strength. And that brings us to the science of the burn and the terrible mistake you are making that silences it. That sharp, mustard-like kick you feel when you bite into a leaf of watercress is not there to please your palate. In nature, it is a warning shot. It is a sophisticated chemical defense system designed to stop insects from eating the plant. But here is the magnificent irony. The very poison designed to kill the insect is the medicine that saves the human. To understand this, you must view the watercress leaf not as a vegetable, but as a biological binary weapon. Inside every cell of this plant, stored in a secure compartment, are compounds called glucosinolates. On their own, they are biologically inert. They do nothing. But sitting right next to them, separated by a thin cell wall, is an enzyme called myrosinase. Think of myrosinase as the spark plug and glucosinolates as the fuel. As long as the plant is intact, these two never touch. But the moment you bite down, the moment your teeth crush that cell wall, you break the barrier. The spark meets the fuel. A violent chemical reaction occurs instantly in your mouth. This explosion creates a new powerful compound called PEITC, phenethyl isothiocyanate. PEITC is the hunter. Once it enters your bloodstream, scientific studies suggest it has a remarkable ability to target and disable cancer stem cells. It helps turn off the signals that tell your body to age. It is a master antioxidant. But here is the catch, and this is where the tragedy happens. You are likely destroying this mechanism before it ever reaches your lips. The fatal error I warned you about is heat. Most people treat watercress like spinach. They throw it into a pot of soup. They boil it. They steam it. They saute it until it wilts. This is catastrophic. Myrosinase is an enzyme, which means it is a protein. Like an egg white, it changes structure when heated. If you cook watercress, you cook the enzyme. You destroy the spark plug. Without the living enzyme, the glucosinolates cannot convert into PEITC. You can chew that boiled leaf all day, but the chemical explosion will never happen. You are eating fiber and dead cellular matter, but the medicine is gone. You have disarmed the bomb. So how do you consume the most nutritious plant on earth? You must respect its rules. Rule number 1, eat it raw. Rule number 2, you must chew. This sounds simple, but it is critical. Your mouth is the laboratory. The more you chew, the more cell walls you break, the more enzyme you mix with the fuel, and the more PEITC you generate. If you swallow it whole in a smoothie, you get some benefit. But if you masticate it thoroughly until it is a liquid in your mouth, you are maximizing the dose. You are literally creating the medicine in real time. Now you know the science. You know that you are holding a biological weapon against disease. But here is the problem. Relying on the supermarket to supply your medicine is a trap. They will charge you a premium for a small, wilting plastic bag that has already lost half its potency during transport. It is time for the weed to take its revenge. You do not need a farm to grow the king. You do not need fertile soil. You do not even need a garden. Watercress possesses a superpower that modern crops have lost immortal cloning. Here is the protocol for the lazy gardener. Go to the grocery store one last time. Buy a single bunch of organic watercress. Take it home, but do not eat all of it. Save the thickest stems. Strip off the lower leaves and place those stems in a simple glass of water on your windowsill. Now watch the magic. While a rose might die in a vase, watercress wakes up. Within days you will see white, thread-like tentacles shooting out from the stem. These are adventitious roots searching for life. In 1 week, that single stem has become a new, independent plant. You can keep it in water, changing it daily, or for a permanent supply, move it to a pot of soil. But remember the rule, it is a river plant. It hates dry feet. Place a deep saucer under the pot and keep it filled with water at all times. Flood it, drown it. It will love you for it. This is the infinite food glitch of the real world. You buy it once, and if you treat it right, you never have to buy it again. It grows aggressively. It spreads horizontally. It wants to take over. By cloning this plant on your windowsill, you are doing something revolutionary. You are firing the supermarket. You are securing a fresh supply of the world's most nutrient-dense food 0 miles from your plate, costing you absolutely nothing. This is not just about growing a salad. It is about sovereignty. When you plant this stem in your window, you are declaring independence from a food system that is designed to feed you dead calories. You are choosing the wild over the domestic. You are choosing vitality over shelf life. The algorithm, much like the supermarket, prefers to sell you trends, not truth. If you believe this knowledge deserves to bypass the filter, leave a like. It creates a signal in the noise. It tells the system that we are watching. Now look at the ditch near your house. Look at the stream behind the park. You will likely see the king growing there. But heed this warning from the Guardian. Do not eat from the ditch. While the plant is noble, our modern waterways are often treacherous. Wild streams can carry invisible parasites like liver fluke. The plant acts as a filter, trapping what is in the water. This is why the cloning method I taught you is the only way. We do not scavenge blindly. We rescue. We secure the genetics, but we grow them in the safety of our own clean water at home. We want the wild nutrition, not the wild risks. Tell me in the comments, have you seen this plant growing in your area, and do you accept the challenge to bring it indoors and grow it safely? There is likely someone you know who is spending a fortune on supplements trying to buy health. Share this archive with them. Save them from the marketing trap. Watercress is just one entry in the lost encyclopedia. To unlock the rest of the vault and reclaim your food independence, subscribe to the Ancestral Garden. The cure is not always in the pharmacy. Sometimes it is waiting in the water. Just make sure it is your water.